Hello my friends and welcome to a new special. This time I'm going to talk about the best family seat and wheelbase that you can find on today's market. The objective is to recommend a solution for families that want to race. The primary criteria are that they can be used by both adults and children and that they don't take up enormous amounts of space. While other criteria like budget or performance can also be important for you, they don't count in this edition. The solution consists of both a cockpit and a steering wheel. If you are not looking for a family solution, do check out the other videos I made based on budget and performance. So for wheelbases, I think we have to take into account that this is not focused on the racing experience itself. Of course, it is important, but the precision that you need of like let's say a Fanatec wheelbase is not needed for a family steering wheel. So the choices that I have here are the T300 wheelbase and the T248 wheelbase, both of Trustmaster. Why I don't involve Logitech in this, because this is the other player which makes affordable wheels, is simple. I am no fan of the gear-driven systems. I can understand that people prefer this wheel because it has a nice leather rim with aluminium and really very nice quality, but the technology in it is simply not up to date. It's not even up to date to let's say 7 years ago when we had the T300 being launched. Logitech never really did a lot of effort to improve the technology. Sure, they have the software tweaks and I believe perhaps some hardware, but in essence the technology in the G923, which is the current Logitech wheel, is still 10 years behind on technology. So it's not a choice that I would recommend to people. Fanatec does not really have any wheels for family use. For me, all the Fanatec wheels are for the people that graduated from amateur class, that are in intermediate, pro, esports. Okay, then the move to Fanatec and higher is recommended. For both sets, they are compatible with Xbox, PlayStation and PC, with the T300 and the T248 for the PlayStation and the TX and T248 Xbox edition for Xbox. If you look at it performance-wise, the T300 base is much better. It's a belt-driven system, which is a difference with the gear and belt, so the hybrid solution of the T248. You can feel it. You will have a better simulation with the T300 than with the T248, I guarantee this. Also, the T300 has a detachable steering wheel, which the T248 doesn't have. But does a family wheelbase need to have a detachable rim, is my question. So, standard, the T300 base comes with the T3PA pedals, which are by no means bad pedals, but if you compare them with the T3PM that are standard included with the T248, there is a big difference, and I would prefer the T3PM pedals over the T3PA anytime. It's mainly the inclusion of the T3PM pedals that tilts the balance in the favor of the T248. The torque it generates is less, but still very sufficient to have a proper immersion. The T248 has a plastic rim and it feels reasonably nice to the touch. It has the display in it. I am not pro displays, but if you look at it from a kid's perspective, they see a display and it's like, wow, okay, I want this. So it has more allure than a T300. The outer side has a look and feel of leather, and the inside is more of harder plastic. The built-in display is, as said, an eye-catcher for the younger sim racers and offers, besides telemetry of compatible games, an easy and on-the-fly configuration of the force feedback. This is also a certain plus for this wheelbase. I know many people disagree with me, but I also think the design of the rim can be called decent. The winner here is the T248. Knew it is cheaper, and the added features in comparison with the T300 are outweighing the negative points for this base. Talk about an ecosystem as well. The Trustmaster ecosystem is large, and while it is expensive, too expensive, it's still reasonable. So if you want to add a shifter to your setup, you can buy it. There are a lot of seats available, but none of them are really suitable for kids. Most parents also are not aware, if they don't raise themselves, what is important, so they just buy something which says on the website, okay, suitable for 120 centimeter until whatever, but not a lot of times the seats can live up to the expectations of being suitable for kids. The reason why we don't have a lot of cockpits suitable for children is actually very understandable. There's no money in making seats specifically for kids, and to make a seat that is suitable for both children and adults is very hard. So we have at one side we have the Playseat Challenge, and at the other side we have the Uplight Nitro Kart. That's the two seats that I selected which had the most potential. Playseat Challenge is a very cheap solution, and honestly it is pretty good configurable as well. We have some issues with the Playseat Challenge, which we don't have on the Uplight Nitro Kart. The first issue that I have is that it is not out of the box ready for kids. When I put my daughter in it, I needed to put pillows behind her back under her seat to make her higher a bit, and also I needed to make sure the pedals were elevated, so it's not out of the box ready for family use by smaller kids. The Uplight Nitro Kart is. Another difference between the Playseat Challenge and the Uplight Nitro Kart is that the pedals are properly fixed on an Uplight Nitro Kart. You don't have that with the Playseat Challenge. Another issue is that it is very narrow on the upper thighs for the adults that have a bit of a larger frame. The swivel and locking mechanism really pokes in the sides of the legs, and this can be uncomfortable. A last thing I want to address as issue, because it comes up quite a lot, is the appearance of the playseat. You have the carbon bucket seat of the Uplight Nitro Kart versus the beach chair of Playseat. It's a world of difference. Okay, the Playseat Challenge is very comfortable, but so is the bucket seats. The Playseat Challenge is already very compact, but if you place the Uplight Nitro Kart against it, you will see that it's not that much bigger. In fact, it is amazing how little space it takes even when all the equipment is mounted. I have bought the Uplight Nitro Kart. It was almost new. There was a scratch in the seat, and this I also said in a review. So it seems to be very scratch sensitive. But now I also noticed that the top of the seat, there's a little tear in the carbon fiber. So I'm not sure if the karting seat itself is the right material to use. When I look at the website of Uplight, they say that this is a karting grade seat and that it is very durable, but if it already cracks now after I think 2 weeks that I have it, then I seriously have questions with the durability of this seat. I think that if you are careful with it when you get in and out, and that you don't lean too much on the back of the seat, that you will be okay. Now I did notify Uplight of this and I'm awaiting an answer from them. In all, the Uplight Nitro Kart is far superior as a family chair than the Playseat Challenge. It is more stable, will give yourself and your children an optimal racing position and simply looks good. The downside of the Nitro Kart is that it's very snug and perhaps not suitable for the people with larger frames among us. It is also relatively expensive compared to the Challenge, and due to its not being a mainstream manufacturer, more difficult to find on the second-hand markets. But in all, I would say that for 600 euro that you can have this setup. So 300 for the T248, 300 for the Uplight Nitro Kart. It all depends when you buy it, of course, where you buy it. I just bought the Uplight Nitro Kart from Amazon.de. They had the cheapest price. It also was a demo model, I think, but it was in very good condition when it arrived. So 300 euro is doable. 350 is the price that you will have to pay retail without any reductions. Okay, and then the Trustmaster T48, well, you will need to pay around 320 euro for this. It can be lower, it can be higher, depends on your region, depends on the promotions, but so it's worth its money. The less you pay for it, of course, the better. And I say it again, I'm a fan of circular economy, so please, if you buy sim racing gear, it's the first time you buy it, please buy it off the secondary market. There are plenty of people that buy a steering wheel and that after a few months they say, okay, but this is nothing for me, and they sell their almost new steering wheels on the secondary market for 50 euro, less than the asking price or whatever. So please buy circular. I would like to do a shout out to the channel of Gavin Naylor. He has some very nice videos about sim racing hardware, and especially his video about the handbrake convinced me I really need to test one. Thank you all for watching. Both the Uplight Nitro Kart and Trustmaster T248 have been reviewed on this channel, so you can check out the full reviews in the provided links. The next upcoming video is about the next level racing GT Lite, so don't forget to subscribe and give a like, and see you all next time. The T248 is very easily configured as well. Standard, the T300 base. There is a reason why I didn't choose the T300 above the T4.